Next up on the list is a Toyota Tacoma. Heck yeah. Let's take a look at this Toyota Tacoma, shall we?
This video is brought to you by The Boring Life of Dean and Haley, now showing on YouTube.
In this Toyota, you're gonna pry the AC controls carefully. And that's 4 10mm. Before you pull the radio out and everything, make sure you check if it's not CDs inside. You don't want to leave the CDs.
So here's the factory radio here. This has a really nice metallic blackish gray to it. It sparkles. So the kit we're gonna use is the Best Kits BK-TOYK 973MG. That stands for metallic gray. Now it comes wrapped in this really nice microfiber cloth because it is painted to match the kit. These two guys shimmer and shine. It has the same flake in it. They look really nice next to one another. So what we need to do is get this guy out of here so we can build the radio and put it into this kit. Now while we're doing that, of course, we don't need this yet. So we're gonna go ahead and cover that back up. Set it over here. Now also in the kit, we have all these pieces here. We have a pocket we're not gonna need. We have a bag of parts, has some panel clips as well as some screws. We have our trim bezel to go around the radio. We have the singleton trim bezel if you're using the pocket. Then we have our right and left brackets. And of course some instructions to tell you how to get it out of the dash. Go ahead and set this stuff all aside while we take this guy apart. Now all we need to do is get out this piece right here. There's some clips all around it. And then it just slides right out. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like 8 clips that hold this thing in place. Now we're also gonna need these 2 white clips off of here as well. Now we can just set that aside, come over here and take a look at our kit. Gonna go ahead and break these things off first, and then we can break off these guys right here. This, oh, you can't even see it, that guy right there. We can break these off. These are for the pocket. We're not gonna need those. Just run your fingers over, make sure it's smooth. Break all these little tabs off of this. Now, Best Kits have these. We've never really talked about them. A lot of the times you see us just put these in. What these are designed to do is when you're doing a single din, it comes with the cage. When you're not doing a single din, like you're doing a double din, the cage is a little bit narrower because it's the true size of the radio. So what these are designed to do is space in the kit to compensate for not using that cage. So that's why every time you see us, sometimes they're half the size of this, you see us snapping them in, that's why we use them. It keeps them nice and straight. Alright, we want to go ahead and remove the center brace because we're not doing a single din. Go ahead and get one side in place. Set your hazard switch in. Alright, so there's a clip on this side here and a clip on this side here. And what you do with those is that's what snaps and holds the hazard switch in place. Once you got that, it's nice and secured. These two will hold this. Now we want to go ahead and snap these guys in place. Go ahead and put our white clips on the bottom here. Now right here in the bag of stuff they gave us, we're gonna go ahead and open that up. Oh yeah, before I forget, this guy here just snaps into the front. Check the corners and sides for burrs, like there's a burr right there. I don't know why there's always a burr on these things, but check them. That way you don't get any scratches when you're putting it in. And this will just snap into place there again. Should be able to hold it. All right, back to the bag. Inside the bag, we have two different length screws. We have a longer and we have a shorter. The longer ones are going to be for the top where that thicker piece of plastic is going to be. The shorter ones will obviously be for the bottom. And then it comes with a third screw. These are for the pocket. And then we have these three little clips right here. What these three clips are used for are for these guys right here. They're what's going to hold the radio in from the top. We're going to put these in last. We're actually going to put some glue on these to hold them in place. But first, we'll go ahead and get the radio mounted in. For this, we're going with the Pioneer 1330 CarPlay radio. Alright, so our kit is all set, ready to go. Alright, so now what we want to do is go ahead and glue these guys onto here. Go ahead and pinch them first so that those connectors are in there nice and firm. Now, if the kit's gonna sit for about 15-20 minutes before you actually put it in the car, you don't need to add the activator to it. You can just let it air dry. It'll eventually dry on its own. If you need to put it in right away, I suggest putting some activator on it. If you are gonna put activator on it, make sure you hold the radio with the shiny side up like this and add the activator. Now we'll go let this set, do its thing. Next up on the list of fun things to do is this guy right here. This is the USB aux connector, and we want to try to retain this. The problem is they don't make a USB aux adapter, at least none that I have found, that just plug right into this to allow us to retain it. So what we need to do is take it apart and make our own. So to start, we're going to take it apart. Alright, so instead of hacking this thing up and totally destroying it, which I feel would be a bad idea in case you ever wanted to trade the truck back in, we're just going to go ahead and leave this out altogether. Because he's doing CarPlay, iPhones don't have aux jacks, we're opting to leave out the aux. It's not going to function. If we did want it to function, we can use the ISS35 from iSimple. They make a aux jack retention. We could drill this hole a little bit bigger, put it in there, and it would retain the aux jack. We've gone ahead and just cut off all the shielding except for on the top and bottom here, and it's going to come up through and align into the housing. So all we need to do now is glue it in place and we'll be all set. Now the glue we're using is CA glue, and this is the thick. I like the thick. Fills in gaps really well, gives us lots of time to work on it, get it where we need it to be. The other thing I like to do is use the USB, plug it into itself so that I can line the kit up and hold it from there like I'm doing. Just gonna hold it like this while all that activator drips down in there and hardens it up. And there we go, we have a USB in the factory location. Just set that aside and let it just harden up real good. Now one of the habits we like to do is anytime we take parts like this out of the car, what we like to do is just tape them to the factory radio that we're taking out, just like this, so that wherever they store it, it will be in that location. They won't have to be like, oh yeah, it was in your cup holder. You know, that was 2 years ago. Been down that road. Alright, so now we won't lose that. I think we're pretty much ready to get into the car and get this thing screwed in and out of here. Alright, so we have our USB plugged in. iPhone is connected. We have CarPlay. We'll go ahead and test out CarPlay. What's the weather like today?
It's currently partly cloudy and 70.
Alright, kit looks really nice, matches really well to the factory paint. Alright, so if you have one of these cool Toyota Tacomas, you might want to check out getting yourself one of these cool pack kits when you replace your radio. Now, we're going to go ahead and pull this out. We're going to do a software update on it because it needs it, and we'll get on with the next one. Sound good to you? Sounds good to me. Here we go.